He was right there the whole time. Right in front of our faces. Standing in plain sight, cutting promos, appearing on television, shaking hands and playing the game, while secretly being the most dangerous, most calculated, most brilliantly disguised puppet master in WWE today. And we missed it. Every single one of us missed it. The dirt sheets missed it. The analysts missed it. The locker room missed it. Bron Breakker and the Vision missed it. And that is exactly how Seth Rollins planned it. Because at Elimination Chamber, in one of the most jaw-dropping, blood pressure-raising, scream-at-your-television moments in recent WWE history, Seth Rollins ripped off the mask. Literally. The masked man who ambushed Bron Breakker at Royal Rumble, the figure who struck from the shadows and vanished before anyone could identify him, the mystery that has consumed every wrestling conversation for weeks, that was Seth freakin' Rollins. The visionary. The revolutionary. The man who has spent his entire career telling the world he is the most intelligent superstar alive just proved it in the most spectacular fashion possible. And I am sitting here furious. Not at Seth Rollins, because honestly, the genius of what he just pulled off demands a level of respect that I cannot withhold. I am furious because of what this means. I am furious because of the implications. I am furious because Bron Breakker and the Vision have been walking around this company for weeks thinking they were hunting a ghost, and that ghost just pulled the mask off and revealed himself to be the one man on this entire roster with the intelligence, the patience, and the ruthless cunning to have orchestrated every single moment of this from the very beginning. Seth Rollins did not just unmask himself at Elimination Chamber. He detonated a bomb underneath the entire WWE landscape. In Ring Rumble 1 is going to walk you through every single piece of the explosion, what it means, why he did it, how he pulled it off, and what happens next in a rivalry that just became the most compelling story in professional wrestling today. Do not go anywhere. This breakdown is going to change how you see everything that has happened over the last several weeks. Before we go any deeper, I need 60 seconds of your time and I promise you it is worth every second. If Ring Rumble 1 is new to you, welcome to the only wrestling channel that meets moments like this with the depth, the analysis, and the unfiltered truth they deserve. We do not skim the surface. We do not read you a recap and send you home. When something as seismic as Seth Rollins unmasking at Elimination Chamber happens in WWE, Ring Rumble 1 tears it apart layer by layer until every piece of it makes complete sense, and then we give you angles and implications that nobody else in this space is even thinking about yet. Hit that subscribe button right now. One click. It is completely free and it connects you permanently to the most honest, most passionate, most thorough wrestling analysis community on YouTube. And then, this part is non-negotiable, grab that notification bell and set it to all notifications. Because the Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker story just shifted into an entirely new gear tonight and every development from this point forward is going to move fast. You cannot afford to be the last one finding out. Share this video too, right now, before it is even finished. Send it to every wrestling fan you know because the conversation that Seth Rollins just started at Elimination Chamber is one that the entire WWE Universe needs to be having, and Ring Rumble 1 is where that conversation lives. Ready? Good. Let's get into it. To fully appreciate the magnitude of what Seth Rollins revealed at Elimination Chamber, we need to go back to Royal Rumble. Because now that the mask is off, every single moment of that attack looks completely different through the lens of knowing who was underneath it. Disciplined enough to pull something like this off while simultaneously maintaining a completely normal public presence on WWE television. Seth Rollins was on our screens every week, cutting promos, feuding, performing, and the entire time, underneath that public persona, he was the masked man. He planned the Royal Rumble attack. He executed it. He walked back into that building the next week like nothing happened, looked everyone in the eye, and continued his WWE life without a single crack in the performance. That is not just intelligence. That is a level of psychological compartmentalization that is genuinely extraordinary. Seth Rollins did not just fool Bron Breakker. He fooled an entire global audience of professional wrestling observers for weeks. And he did it flawlessly. Now let's talk about the reveal itself, because the how and the where of this unmasked moment was as deliberate and calculated as everything else Seth Rollins has done in this story. Seth Rollins did not reveal himself in a backstage segment. He did not send a cryptic message or let someone else break the news. He chose Elimination Chamber, one of the most high-stakes, most-watched events on WWE's calendar, as the stage for his confession. And that choice tells you everything about how Seth's mind operates. Elimination Chamber is a platform. It is a moment where the entire WWE Universe is paying maximum attention, where the stakes are at their highest, and where revelations land with the most devastating impact possible. Seth Rollins waited for the biggest possible stage, walked out under those bright lights, and ripped that mask off in front of the largest audience available to him. Because Seth Rollins does not do anything quietly. He does not make moves in the dark when he can make them in the spotlight. He waited until the moment would hurt Bron Breakker the most, not just physically, not just strategically, but psychologically. Knowing that the man who attacked you at Royal Rumble was Seth Rollins, standing in front of you at Elimination Chamber, grinning because he just revealed he has been 10 steps ahead of you this entire time, that is a different kind of damage. That gets into your head and stays there. Seth Rollins did not just unmask. He performed an unmask. And the performance was perfect. Here is the question that every wrestling fan is asking right now, and Ring Rumble 1 is going to give you the most honest answer available. Why? Why did Seth Rollins go to these lengths? Why the mask? Why the secrecy? Why Bron Breakker specifically? The answer requires you to understand how Seth Rollins sees the world of professional wrestling and his place within it. Seth Rollins has spent his entire career being one of the most gifted, most versatile, most complete performers on any roster he has ever been part of. And for all of that ability, for all of that excellence in the ring, on the microphone, in the character work, Seth has consistently had to fight for the recognition and the position he believes is rightfully his. He has been overlooked. He has been positioned as a supporting player in other people's stories when he should have been the headline. Bron Breakker represents something that infuriates Seth Rollins on a fundamental level. That his mind is his greatest weapon, that he can dismantle even the most physically imposing opponent in WWE without ever being identified, and that when he finally chooses to reveal himself, it will be on his terms, at his moment, with maximum impact. Seth Rollins needed Bron Breakker to know that he was beaten by a mind, not just a body. And now Bron Breakker knows. Let's talk about the damage this revelation does to Bron Breakker and the Vision as an operating unit, because beyond the physical and the personal, there is a structural problem that Seth Rollins just created for this faction that cannot be easily fixed. The Vision's entire identity is built on dominance and control. They control the narrative. They control the environment. They make other people react to them. And for weeks, they have been reacting to a masked man, chasing a shadow, hunting a mystery, redirecting energy and attention toward finding an answer that Seth Rollins was holding the whole time. That is weeks of misdirection. Weeks of the Vision operating at less than full strategic capacity because part of their focus was consumed by a question Seth Rollins manufactured specifically to consume it. Now that the mask is off, Bron Breakker and the Vision know who they are dealing with. But knowing does not automatically mean they know how to handle it. Seth Rollins with the mystery was dangerous. Seth Rollins without the mystery, operating openly, unashamedly, with the confidence of a man who just proved he is smarter than everyone in the building, is a completely different level of threat. He has already demonstrated that he can beat the Vision at their own game of strategy and manipulation. What happens now that he does not need to hide anymore? The Vision just lost the psychological high ground in this rivalry. And in WWE, losing the psychological battle is often more devastating than losing a physical one. I have given you everything. The Royal Rumble revisit, the Elimination Chamber moment, the motivation, the psychological warfare, and the structural damage to the Vision. Now I need this comment section to be as loud as Seth Rollins was tonight. Tell me right now, did you see this coming? Were there clues that you picked up on that pointed to Seth Rollins being under that mask, or did this revelation hit you completely out of nowhere? And now that everything is in the open, now that Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker are on a collision course with no more masks and no more mystery, who wins when these two men finally collide directly? Does Seth Rollins' intelligence overcome Bron Breakker's raw physical dominance? Or does Bron Breakker find a way to take the Visionary apart piece by piece? Drop your answer below. Your theory, your reaction, your absolute shock or your smug, I called it, all of it belongs in the comments right now. And if you know someone who watched Elimination Chamber tonight and is still processing what they saw, send them this video immediately. Tag them in the comments. Ring Rumble 1 just gave them the complete breakdown they need. 3 things before you leave, and I ask every single time because every single time it matters. Number 1, like this video right now. This second, before another thought enters your head. That like button is the most direct signal you can send to YouTube that this content deserves to be in front of every wrestling fan on this platform tonight. 1 tap. Do it now. Number 2, share this video on every platform you use. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, every group chat on your phone. Seth Rollins unmasking at Elimination Chamber is the biggest story in WWE right now, and Ring Rumble 1 delivered the deepest, most complete breakdown available anywhere. Put your people onto it. Let them know where the real analysis lives. Number 3, subscribe and switch that notification bell to all if you are not already part of this community. Because Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker are just getting started, and every chapter of this rivalry is going to deliver moments that you absolutely cannot afford to miss. Ring Rumble 1 will be here for every single one, faster, deeper, and more honest than any other wrestling channel covering WWE today. Seth Rollins just told the world exactly who he is. And Bron Breakker's nightmare is only beginning. This is Ring Rumble 1. And we are not done talking about this, not even close. See you in the next one.